number files video is called A Hole in a Hole in a Hole. The summer of 7th grade, I actually started learning real analysis. My favorite proof that every normal space is metrizable. Yeah, we got more.
What made you like math? What do you want people to know you for? Like, what is your favorite YouTube channel? First question for you. Like, what made you start your YouTube channel?
Well, my first videos are math club videos. So you'll see they're all about miscellaneous math topics that I wanted to explain to my middle school friends. And it was over the summer. So it was like a math club over the summer. No one was as interested in it as I was. And then when you released your integral of the cubed root of tangent of x, this is what really started when I started making videos.
Last time, BlackPenRedPen's video, he gave the solution to the hardest integral on YouTube, and I'm gonna give the derivative of it.
And I also did that with the Vandermonde matrix video. That I did in response to Dr. Pyam. I did an inductive proof. My goals generally are to provide a resource for all of these advanced math topics that are in short form videos. Because a lot of times what you'll find is these long, 2-hour-long university lectures on these advanced math topics, or you'll find written text on it that you can find online. So what I want to do with my channel is do just 10-minute videos, 10 to 20 to 30 to 40-minute videos, but, you know, the 40 ones usually aren't part of my series. But the point of the series is to provide shorter content in video form for advanced math topics. I think that's what I want to do.
What made you get into math? What made you like math in general?
What made me, it's really interesting. So what happened is in 6th grade math, in this class, it was an honors class, we went over like practically Algebra 1 in 6th grade, like the beginnings of Algebra 1. And what she talked about, the teacher, was right triangles. So she wanted to do the areas of triangles, and what she started describing were right triangles. And she mentioned something called trigonometry, which she said was the study of right triangles. And so I'm like, that's really interesting. I want to know more about that. And so when I went home, I looked at the Khan Academy videos for trigonometry, the basics of trigonometry. But then after the trigonometry incident, I kind of laid low for a little bit because I wasn't really interested in trigonometry, quite frankly. But then there was The Odd Ones Out. Have you heard of him? He's an animation YouTuber, like an animation story time type person. He wanted to be a math tutor before he became a YouTuber. He wanted to go into math teaching or math tutoring, whatever. And what he told a story about it. I don't remember what it was. It was probably called like Jobs. And in the video, he talked about his tutoring job, and it was supposed to be for Algebra 1, Algebra 2 pre-calculus, but he got a question that clearly needed calculus. And so what he said is he mentioned derivatives and he mentioned calculus, and he said it was quite an easy problem if you know calculus. And so I'm like, you know, I want it to be an easy problem. And so I looked up calculus videos. So I think the first person I started watching was Math BFF. That was my first introduction to limits, and at that time I didn't know what foiling was or double distribution. I didn't know how to do that at all.
Wow, but that's only a few years ago, right?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, summer of 6th grade.
God.
I did not know how to foil, did not know double distribution. So what I did, I actually have no clue how I ended up learning how to factor. At the same time I was learning the prerequisites for calculus, I was also learning calculus at the same time. I have absolutely no clue how I ended up managing that, but I ended up with the knowledge of calculus at the end of it. And then after calculus, I went on to calculus 2, BC calculus. And then after that, I did calculus 3. So that was that was the end of 7th grade. I was doing multivariable calculus. That was the end of 7th grade. Yeah. I did it during
How long did
during
that
my
take
science
you to finish
class.
Calc 1, Calc 2, and Calc 3?
I had to learn Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and Pre-Calculus, and Calc 1. And I did that all in the span of 6 months, like sort of like at the same time. And then Calc 2 probably took much less time. I don't remember doing much Calc 2 at all. I did Khan Academy lessons, so they divided it up into differential calculus and integral calculus, I think, at the time. And so I did differential calculus first, and then I did integral calculus. And I think it was your videos. I did integration. That's really how I got good at Calc 2 ideas, you know, trig substitution. So I just looked at the Khan Academy videos over and over again. But I think your math battles, what was it, integral battles, where you did like 2 similar integrals and you evaluated them 2 different ways. I think that's what really cemented calculus into my knowledge. And then after that, do you know, what's his name? He's really buff. He's a buff guy, and he does, right now he's doing differential equations. He's a really buff
Professor Leonard, right?
Professor Leonard, yeah. So him and Khan Academy were what I used for calculus 3. That was the summer of 7th grade. So no, this was before the summer of 7th grade, because the summer of 7th grade I actually started learning real analysis. Yeah. So yeah, I did all that. So I did all that from the summer of 6th grade until the end of 7th grade. I learned up to Calc 3. So barely a year.
Yeah.
Barely a year. Which area of math do I like the most?
Since you mentioned so many, then I think a lot of viewers are interested.
I'd say, you know, I'd like to say category theory, but a lot of people don't consider that an actual branch of math yet, because it's more logical foundations, and it's applied in other fields of math. But you know, it's very pure, because it's
Yeah,
like,
I have seen some of your videos. Couldn't understand all of them, right? But I do watch it, and it's really peaceful when I see you doing math.
yeah.
All right, so let's continue with our questions. All right, the questions that we have planned. So the next question is, what are your resources that you use to study? Wait, why did you run away? Okay, let's take a look.
Peter Cromwell, Knots and Links. This is you guys will see this backwards. Sorry for the people on the stream. But it's Knots and Links by Peter Cromwell. It's about knot theory. Knot theory is really interesting. That somehow they use the sigma symbol when referring to knot theory. So you can see knot theory over there. You can use summation right there. Yeah. So knot theory is just analyzing different knots. You can see that all throughout this book, they'll just keep using diagrams for knots. And it's formal. I think it requires a knowledge of topology first. But once you know a little bit of topology, the book's easy. The next book, which is what I use for my manifold series, my video series called Manifolds. It's Introduction to Smooth Manifolds by John M. Lee. I think it's 600 pages long. It's very comprehensive. Very comprehensive. It goes into theorem theory if you're interested in that. It's a graduate text, so don't expect it to be like hand-holding. It requires a knowledge of topology beforehand, and algebraic topology, actually. So this book you want to get when you already know undergrad math and you want to know all the stuff you need to know about manifolds. So this is comprehensive introduction to differential geometry by Michael Spivak, and it's about differential geometry. It also goes into manifolds, but it takes more of an analysis approach. So, you know, there's the topological approach, which is like they're very similar in their approaches, but this one relies more on analysis than topology. It does not assume a knowledge of topology before you go into it. Do you know Cliff Stoll from Numberphile?
Is that the Klein Bottle guy? No.
Klein Bottle guy, yeah. So this is a book, Comprehensive Introduction to Differential Geometry. Right here is A Hole in a Hole in a Hole, which is a video Cliff Stoll did for Numberphile. It's very interesting. So watch Numberphile's video. It's called A Hole in a Hole in a Hole. And it introduces topology very easily. Now this one is what I'm using for my category theory videos. It's by McLean, and McLean was actually one of the founders for category theory, one of the founding researchers in the field of category theory. A lot of people give that to Eilenberg, Steenrod, however you pronounce it. I don't know. So McLean, category theory for the working mathematician. I think this was one of the first comprehensive books on category theory ever, and this is the second edition, so it's updated. So I have a book on differential topology. It's by Morris W. Hirsch. Now this one I actually haven't gotten to reading, but it goes into Morse theory, which is something I wanted to learn about, so I picked that up. Haven't read it yet, so I can't really give you a John M. Lee, Riemannian manifolds and Introduction to Curvature. So this one also covers a lot of the same ground as Introduction to Smooth Manifolds, except this one focuses on curvature, because that one does not go into things like the Riemannian curvature tensor or stuff like that. Gaussian curvature I wanted to learn about, and this one has the Gauss-Bonnet theorem, if you've heard of that. That's an important theorem in math, and this one would explain it formally, which is what I wanted. Yeah, we got more. Brian C. Hall, Lie groups, Lie algebras, and representations, an elementary introduction. So I wanted something on Lie theory and representation theory, and this just puts it into one. So, it's comprehensive about Lie theory and representations of Lie algebras and such. So that's something for that if you're ever interested. Now this one is something that's very important in my learning. It's Topology by James Monkrez. I think this is the one I recommend most often, almost all the time.
Whoa.
It looks really cool. The cover is very nice. So this one doesn't even... You can start off with just a discrete math knowledge. So what you're doing with bijective functions, it basically starts there in this book. So you can start basically from there. It goes through elementary set theory, goes through a bunch of stuff for real analysis right at the beginning of this book. So you don't even need to know real analysis before you go into this topology book. But, I recommend doing real analysis before topology. And then it is completely comprehensive in point set topology and also sort of algebraic topology. So point set topology is like you look at topological spaces not algebraically. Algebraic topology is when you do look at them algebraically. Alright, so anyway, this book goes into what are called space-filling curves, which are going to be curves that take up the entire plane. So you fill up an entire plane using just lines, just a single line, without picking up the thing. Using a continuous curve, you can fill up the entirety of the plane using just a continuous curve. Basically lines. The piano. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hilbert curve, that's what I was thinking of. Yes, Hilbert curve. So I think Numberphile has a video on Hilbert curve, and this one goes into space-filling curves formally. This one I just got, I have not read it, is Recent Advances in Hodge Theory. It's for when I want to go into Hodge theory more. So I don't
Wait,
have
can you
videos
give
on
me
that.
just roughly speaking, okay? How many math books do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then those are my graduate math books, 10 graduate, and then four normal ones. So 14 total. 14 math books, yeah.
By the way, I love it. I love how when you are talking about math books, I love the joy that's on your face. Your smile,
Yeah.
I can totally tell that you love it too, man. My goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Wow.
math. What is Hodge theory? So Hodge theory. So if you've heard of the Hodge conjecture, Hodge theory is basically the study of the structures of the Hodge conjecture.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. What would you suggest to other people who also like math? How to study, what to study? Let me make it more specific, okay? Suppose you want to study like something new. How would you begin?
So if you're going blind into a topic, I recommend either Math Exchange or Stack Overflow Math. Those usually have questions like what are good resources for this? You'll find good resources in the answers for those. But usually I don't even look at those. Like I usually I'm involved in Discord math communities. So if you check out my Discord server, there will be resources for all of the different advanced math topics that I've started going over. And so if you look at my Discord server, you'll find bunches of different resources for it. But if you really want to know beforehand, you can usually sometimes find lectures on YouTube, sometimes, for the lower level ones especially. So like if you want to learn about abstract algebra, I'd recommend the Harvard lectures with, I forgot the guy's name, sorry. The lecturer's name. He does very good lectures. That's how I learned abstract algebra. And the thing about topologies, I couldn't really find good ones. Like there's N.J. Wildberger, with his algebraic topology lectures, which I recommend to get introduced to algebraic topology.
Next question. What is your favorite YouTube channel? First, let's talk about the math part, and then we'll talk about the non-math.
Oh, favorite
The
math channel.
I know your answer.
Did I say my favorite math channel before?
I think so. May I take a guess first then?
Yeah, take a guess, because I don't remember what it could have been.
3 blue, 1 brown.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking about saying it.
You mentioned it, yeah.
The 3 blue 1 brown, very good. Mathologer.
Totally.
Mathologer is another one. Mathologer.
Yeah.
He does very good content. But if I'm going for math, like pure math education, that's not like broad, it's like going into math research. There's a good channel for it. It's called Graduate Mathematics. I think it has a picture of Grothendieck as its profile picture on YouTube.
That's the one just lecture, right?
It's just lectures. There's also
Yeah, I know that one too, yeah.
ICTM Mathematics. I think it's some arrangement of those letters. Right now they're doing a bunch of stuff on black holes and general relativity. So I find that really interesting. So those are the two main pure math research channels that I'd be interested in. And then 3 blue 1 brown, Mathologer, and some Vsauce videos. Have you seen his videos on
nice.
Counting Past Infinity? Those are really nice.
Yeah.
They really explain set theory, like, simply. Like, he uses the axiom of replacement, which is like, he explains it so simply. Like, he just shows the bananas moving on to the apples, and then that explains the axiom perfectly. It's great.
Yeah. How about the non-math ones? Which other channels do you watch besides math? No math related, no science related, just for fun.
Do you know Gus Johnson? So he's
No,
he's a sketch comedy YouTuber. I think he's hilarious. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he does a bunch of memes, like short meme videos. He got on trending a bunch of times. yeah, makes a lot of funny content. There's also Sven Johnson, which is his brother, and he makes the same sort of videos. It's great. They
okay, like maybe
they don't look like brothers. They look completely different, but they make the same content and they're brothers. It's crazy.
Let's talk about your favorite math formula or theorem or proof.
Oh yeah.
Just pick one. No, just pick one. Huh? Which one?
Stokes theorem.
How come?
So if you look at the general Stokes theorem, it is unbelievably nice. Wait, I have the book here. I'm gonna find it in the book. The formula for the general Stokes theorem, it is so easy to memorize. It's so nice. It uses like so much math and it simplifies so much. So anyway, Stokes theorem in general says basically the integral over a manifold of d omega is equal to the integral over the boundary of the manifold of omega. So when you write it out, look at that formula. That formula is so simple. It's unbelievable. You can find it on the Wikipedia page as well. It's unbelievable how nicely that works out. Yeah, it's my favorite theorem, I'd say. It's crazy.
So I guess the proof is your favorite proof too.
Yeah, the proof of Stokes theorem is crazy and not at all like trivial. No, okay. My favorite proof is not of that. My favorite proof is that every normal space is metrizable. So what that means is basically on certain spaces with certain properties, you can have a notion of distance between any 2 points. Even if you don't like naturally have a notion of distance, if your space has certain properties, you can create distances between any 2 points that corresponds with that structure. It's crazy, the proof. And it's really nice. And a close second to that would be Urisan's lemma, which is also a topological proof. So those are two great proofs. Like they go wild.
All right, how about let's talk about one thing that you would like to do besides math.
Piano, yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
Going, but you get the idea.
Wow. Are there any things that you would like people to know you for?
Anything I'd like. So what does that mean? What do you mean?
Like, okay, what do you want people to know you for? Like, if you hear Fematika, blank. Fematika is blank, or maybe Lucas is blank. Like you want to be known for
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
So like in the future or now?
I think we can talk about both if you like.
Okay, so now, right now,
Uh-huh.
I'd like to think that people, when they hear Fematika, they think of a good explainer. Because I think something that doesn't really... Something about my audience base is that, you know, I cover like a wider range of math topics. So, you know, I go from... You know, sometimes I'll make a calculus video every once in a while. Sometimes I'll make a number theory video. Sometimes I'll make a graduate math video. You know, it jumps all over the place. And the thing about it is that a lot of people don't have the prerequisites yet for a lot of my videos. But I'd like for someone... So with my measure theory videos, particularly, a lot of people find them useful, you know? A lot of people comment and they say, I finally understand measure theory now. And those are the comments I really enjoy, because, you know, it's not that, you know, I'm a prodigy, child prodigy, you know, genius. It's more about that I'm explaining and doing good for the explanation of math. I think that's,
seriously,
that's what I'd like to be known for.
I see. Is that the video that you have the most?
Yeah,
views?
measure theory 1.1. Yeah, the quality is lower than I'd like it to be, and you know, I look young, but you know, I think it's a fine example of a video that I'd like people to see. Yeah.
In the future, like, what do you want other people to know you for?
I'd like them to know me for my math research. So I'd like to do something influential in mathematics to where people would know my name for something I did, you know? People would say, that's a good mathematician, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
As Fematika or your name?
So I think Fematika, I'd still want the explanations to be good. I'd like people to think, that's a math communicator. He wants to spread higher level maths. But in my name, I'd like to be associated with math research, like some sort of influence in math research. Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.